Welcome back to Devil May Cry. Last time we went through the first couple of missions here on Malay Island, got ourselves a new sword and a new gun, and this time we'll be buying some stuff for our new sword. Now that we actually have Alistair, we can actually upgrade it. And the first thing that I want to get is a pretty staple move of the Devil May Cry series, the Stinger. It's basically this forward thrusting attack. As I said before, depending on the direction you hold the stick when you attack with Dante, you can perform different moves. If you hold the stick away from the enemy, towards Dante's back, you perform High Time. If you hold the stick toward the enemy, or, toward Dante's front, then you'll perform Stinger. Of course, you need to be locked on to actually perform the move, so if you're not locked on, you'll just perform the regular combo attack. But now we need to grab this Pride of Lions, because before in that room where we fought a bunch of marionettes in this weird fountain kind of area, there was a blue wall blocking off a lion statue. And in order to get past it, we actually need that Pride of the Lion thing. So we just need to make our way across this bridge. There's the Stinger right there. Show it off a couple times. If you ever do want to go back to Force Edge, I think the moves that you learn with Alistair stay on Force Edge. So since I learned Stinger here, I'll have Stinger on Force Edge, but it'll still do less damage than usual, so still pretty useless. Also, Force Edge does not have a Devil Trigger. You can't transform while using it, so you don't get the extra damage and stuff. We just need to head back, and something a little crazy happens as we're heading back. The bridge breaks apart, falls down, and we're underwater. While down here, your health slowly goes down. I would recommend equipping the shotgun right here, because the enemies here are pretty weak to it. And you need to be quick, because if you're not, then your health will go all the way down, and you'll pretty much just drown down here and have to restart the mission. Even though the mission, started not too long ago, it's still pretty lame to have to restart one. Anyway, just get near the shotguns, jump over them, and shoot them in the face with the shotgun, and you're pretty good to go. At point blank, it'll take just one hit to kill them, and the last one always drops a green orb, which is very nice. Now right here, there was the Stinger, me using it off of a ledge to perform the long jump. That wasn't one of those context-sensitive long jump areas. I forced it using the Stinger. And that's actually the first time I've ever gotten across this area without falling down into the water below. And I couldn't actually do it to get back, so oh well. If you fall into the water, you'll have to defeat those little skulls again. Well, they're not little, they're very, very large skulls. But once you do defeat them, you reappear on the opposite side of whatever side it was on the bridge you touched last. So since I was on the side with the blue orb, I'll reappear on the side where the door is. If I'd fallen in where the door was, I'd be near the blue orb when I came back out of the water. That's how it works. I think in the original version, it didn't work like that. You were respawned at whatever ledge you were at last, so you'd actually have to do the platforming challenges. That's kind of something that Devil May Cry is bad at. It's combat, everybody loves it, but platforming is very much not its strong suit. The committed jumps and lack of aerial maneuverability, unless you buy a certain skill, well, a couple certain skills, it's pretty lame. As you saw right there, Alistair kind of flared up with electricity before this demon came. It has that ability. It can kind of sense when a demon is nearby so that Dante can know. And we have a giant spider scorpion demon here. As I recall, the name of this demon is Phantom. And of course, because Dante is so cool, he's gonna make fun of the demon because, well, why not? Of course, the demon isn't gonna take this very lightly. So, cutscene dodge. That time, the game does it for you, I think, but there will be cases later on where an enemy will attack you within a cutscene, and that will actually go into gameplay, so you have to dodge right as soon as the cutscene ends. Kind of lame. I really do not like that. But it happens here, you kind of have to deal with it. And a lot of people say this is the first test of your abilities in this game. I disagree. The first time I played this game, well, it was after playing 4 and 3. I played those first, and then I played this one. But my first time going through, it wasn't a very difficult enemy to me. You just keep on jumping and then using Helm Breaker on it, and that pretty much does the trick. Use Devil Trigger to do some more damage to it if you need to, and also recover your health, because that's something Devil Trigger does that I didn't mention. It increases your power, of course, but it also increases your speed, I think your defense, and it regenerates your health. So that's really neat. I think we got a white orb just there, but the game didn't explain what it was, so I guess I'll explain what it was. White orbs refill your Devil Trigger, so collect one of those and some of your runes get lit up so you can use Devil Trigger more. Pretty neat, but very rare, as are green orbs. Something that a lot of people don't like about this game, well, at least from what I hear. I also don't like it as well, but orbs don't automatically come towards you like in a game like God of War or something like that. You actually have to go toward the orbs and collect them, like I guess Kingdom Hearts without the extra treasure magnet type stuff. Honestly, I really do not like that design choice. It does mean that you can use red orbs as a sort of guiding thing. Like, you can lead the player to certain places using the red orbs. Excuse me. But, it's still pretty lame. I'd rather have it to where certain red orbs can't go toward you, but enemies, well, the red orbs that enemies drop can. Something like that. But, you know, it was the first game, I guess they didn't implement it that well. And Phantom is back. But we could just go through this door right here and he'll be gone. Most people would kind of run all the way to the end of the corridor, try to dodge his fireballs. You could even fight him again if you want. But I don't really feel like doing that. I just want to go through the door and equip my handguns, because this enemy right here is very annoying. We need to destroy this statue here. And from within it comes, for some reason, a black saber-toothed tiger rather than a lion. But here's another instance of cutscene dodging. He'll start his attack within the cutscene, and you need to dodge out of the way right after it's over. What I like to do for this enemy is I like to shoot it with Ebony and Ivory while in Devil Trigger, and then once I've done so, attack its orb in the center. And after attacking its orb, it'll turn red. When it's bright red like this, it's going to try to lunge at you. And if it does actually chomp down on you, it will explode with you inside of it. So keep on running away from it, keep on dodging. And after a while, it'll explode on its own, and you'll be able to grab the orbs that it drops. A good amount, along with a green orb, so that's pretty nice. Now we can actually head through this door up here and into this weird staircase area. We need to climb to the top, but you can go to the bottom of it if you want to. At the bottom there is a switch that you can trigger, and if you do trigger it, then you'll be able to stand on a platform in the center of the room, and that'll take you all the way to the top very quickly. But I want to kill all the enemies and such, so I'll just be getting to the top at my own pace. At the top here there is a special item that you can grab, along with something you can examine right there, but since I already know what's going on, I'll just grab the item and head through this door where I need to use it. In here, just need to examine this weird statue which has a slot in its chest. Obviously, we need to stab it with our special sword that we just got, that we can't actually use to battle, it's just for decoration. But the weird statue thing spits out the melancholy soul. And Alistair's acting up again. There's something happening. And interestingly enough, it's within the mirror that something is happening. Dante is looking very freakish, although not in an on-purpose way. Like, the way he smirked within the mirror just there, it looked creepy, but not because it was creepy, because it was so outdatedly weird, I guess. I like the attention to detail, though, that the sword is actually on the left side in the one that came out of the reflection, and it's on the right side for real Dante. That's pretty cool. And it turns out that that demon was actually a demon. Well, that the reflection was a demon, I guess I should say. A very honorable one, because rather than deciding to get a sneak attack on us, his stoic, honorable self decided instead, let's take this fight outside on a more, even playing field. I'm not gonna try and take you down without you knowing that I'm there. I'm not a coward or anything like that. This guy is Nelo Angelo, or alternatively named Nero Angelo, I think. I think that's supposed to be like Italian for Black Angel. And another one of those cutscene moves where you can't, tell that it's coming your first time playing, so you get hit by it. It does a pretty good amount of damage, and honestly, this is what I think is probably going to be the first test for a lot of players. He will block your attacks, and he has a lot of the same attacks that you do, which is very cool. I've stated before that I like enemies that have similar things to you, like Sonic and Shadow in the Sonic series, Shovel Knight and Black Knight, Mega Man and Bass, stuff like that. And this Nelo Angelo here uses a lot of the same moves as you, or at least a bunch of similar moves. Like, for example, he has a Stinger X move, or a Stinger-esque move where he lunges forward. He has basically your pause combo, the first one at least, where he does 2 slashes and then 2 upward slashes. He has a big overhead attack like the last hit of the pause combo, or the last hit of the regular combo rather. He has high time as well, and he has Helmbreaker. And he can string these moves together to perform combos on you, which I think is very cool. It's nice to have an enemy that kind of has the same limits as you. Another thing about him is that he will actually taunt you sometimes, which is very funny, but when he does so, he's pretty open to attack, so when he does taunt, it's your time to shine. He'll block your attacks a little bit. If you attack him too much while he's blocking, he will retaliate, so watch out for that. But if you're in Devil Trigger while he's blocking and continuously attack him, you can actually get in between his last block and his parry. So you can hit him while he's trying to block you, which is pretty neat, but more often than not, it's the last hit of your combo that gets past his block. And after last hits, he usually teleports away, so it's not that viable of a strategy. And after seeing Dante's amulet, his memento that has the words engraved Dante and Virgil on it, this Nelo Angelo demon here gets all crazy and bursts into flames and flies away. Well, that was a thing. Not a very difficult boss, but I got a C on it. Oh well. For beating bosses, you do get boss bonuses sometimes, which is very nice. And we just got the trophy Nelo Angel. I think when we beat Phantom the first time, we also got the trophy Arachnophobia. The way I'm buying things in this game is that I buy whatever costs the least, depending on whatever's important. What's important to me are Stinger, Blue Orbs, and Purple Orbs. Blue Orbs increasing your health, obviously. Purple Orbs increase your max Devil Trigger, so you can stay Devil Triggered for longer. Another one of those cutscene dodge things. This mission right here is probably the easiest to get the Untouchable trophy in, which is basically don't take any damage throughout the entirety of the mission. Although I kind of screw up with it. After defeating this shadow here, I think that's the name of this enemy, you'll pretty much be home free. The end of the mission is very, very close, so if you don't get hit by him, that's really the only obstacle. And if you do get hit by him, you can just restart the mission after a save if you want to actually get the untouchable trophy. I think not getting hit also guarantees an up in rank. So like, if I were to get a B on this mission, it'd automatically go up to an A or something like that. Maybe that's the case, I don't know. The reason I say that is because we're pretty much at the end of the mission, just go through this last door and jump down the staircase. Of course, perform Helmbreaker to get down faster. And once at the end, just go near that door, put the Melancholy Soul inside, and that's the end. We're done. I get an A here. The second time I played this, when I got the Untouchable trophy, I actually got an S, which got me a ton of extra orbs, which was very nice, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Maybe it was just some Let's Play curse stuff going on. Back to my whole how I buy things idea. I said, of course, what costs the least is what I'm going to buy first. There is an exception. Well, there are a bunch of exceptions. The extra moves that Alistair gives you and the items, I really do not like buying. Items are pretty useless to me in this game, except for a lot later. Where you want some Devil Stars, which are basically the same as Vital Stars, but instead they increase your Devil Trigger. Instead, not increase, fill up your Devil Trigger rather than your health. But that's about all I'm going to be buying in terms of items. Other than that, moves is what I'm going to be buying. Stinger being one of them. There's the moves Air Raid and Vortex for Alistair. Basically, while in Devil Trigger, you can fly for a short amount of time. Basically, as long as your Devil Trigger lasts, you can fly. If you press the shoot button, rather than shooting with your guns, you'll rain down lightning bolts. And then, if you have Vortex purchased, if you press the melee attack button, you'll perform an aerial dash forward that can tear through enemies, does pretty good damage. I just don't really like Air Raid though. Like neither the lightning bolt attack nor the vortex, nor the fact that you get stuck in the air sometimes when you really don't want to. So I just tend to go with not buying those. Just getting Stinger and Air Hike is what's important to me in terms of Alistair. Well, Stinger and Stinger level 2. Anyway, these bug enemies, very easy to defeat. Very much like these skulls in that underwater area. Just jump very close to them and then shoot them with a shotgun and they'll die very, very easily. The blue ones, if you're up close, take one shot, and the kind of yellowish green ones take two, but still very, very simple enemies. But that is something I neglected to mention. Stinger is not fully purchased yet. We only have Stinger level 1, which takes us a very short distance and does a good amount of damage, but not as much as it could do. At level 2, it takes you a longer distance and does more damage. That's something kind of special about Devil May Cry. Rather than just buying power-ups, like, rather than buying a thing that lets you do more damage, you buy something that either gives you more speed or gives you an extra move. So that's pretty cool. You know, if you were playing a game like God of War or something, when you upgrade your sub-weapons a lot of the time, it just gives you increased damage. Maybe one extra move, but the only upgrades are increased damage. This game, not so much. The damage you do is going to stay consistent throughout, so the enemy health is also going to kind of consistently and gradually go up, rather than your damage going up along with the enemies, so it takes still the same amount of time to kill them. It's more like their health goes up and your damage stays the same, so you need to take a bit longer but be a bit more strategic with your attacks on the enemies. And there's these little things sticking out of the ground here. I wonder what that could mean. Here we have another one of these death scissor type things. I think this one might be called a Sin Scissors, or maybe the other ones were called Sin Scissors and this one's called Death Scissors. I don't quite remember, but as you can see, we're closed off here. There's big electric walls around that Dante can clearly fit through, but for some reason he decides not to. And, well, they block you off, so you're in a very limited space. Dealing with these guys is a bit different from the smaller versions. Rather than using the shotgun to attack them, I would recommend basically spamming Helmbreaker. They do have this drilling attack. They go into the air and then start drilling down on wherever you just were. Using Devil Trigger's extra speed helps out tremendously, also using the dodging mechanic in this game. I didn't really talk about it, but if you lock on and hold to Dante's side, as well as press the jump button, you'll do a side roll. It has some invincibility frames at the beginning, so pretty useful for dodging. The jump also has invincibility frames until you reach the peak, so that's also useful for dodging. But that's the end of this mission. Next time we'll, I guess, start on the other ones in Devil May Cry, and I got another A rank. I am good at this game.